All right, ladies, thank you for joining me. I'm sure more will be popping in. We had at least, well, we have over 20 women that had signed up for the course, so they'll be popping in throughout, I'm sure. But in the meantime, we're going to get started without delay. And here we go. Self-confidence. So practical strategies for personal growth. I guess I should introduce myself because many of you don't know me. My name is Jessica Gandara. I'm a registered nurse, or I was a registered nurse. I still have my license, but I haven't practiced in a hospital in a very long time. I have 4 children, and that's the reason I stopped practicing. I've dedicated myself to my children. 18, 17, 12, and 10 are their ages. I have one girl in that mix. I had thyroid cancer when I was 16, and that kind of led me to become a nurse. I wanted to be a teacher, and that went by the wayside once I had my experience. So, very grateful to have gone through that scary experience because that led me to nursing, which then led me to many different aspects of my life, teaching still, but very different. I am a an author. I just became an author in December, and I'll speak a little bit about that later. Actually, well, can you see it? I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's behind me here. It's called It's My Turn. And having 4 kids, I can tell you that I am always putting myself last, right? Not I mean, we as in moms, and even those who don't have kids, our fur babies, our husbands, our significant others, they come before us typically because that's our nature, right? We have this maternal sense inside of us that we take care of everyone before we take care of ourselves. And that needs to change. We need to pour into us so that we can pour back out to everyone else. But we'll talk about that later. So let's get started on self-confidence. Okay, I'm gonna kind of. Am I sharing the screen here?
No.
Oh, see, that wouldn't work. Okay, hold on one second. Let me go back. Sorry, ladies. Share screen. All right, here we go. Now we're talking. Okay. So let's go. Show of hands. How many of you have ever had low self-confidence or low self-esteem? Yeah, I thought so. All of us, right? At some point or another, we've all been in that situation. And having self-confidence, whether high or low, it's not like a stagnant thing. It's not like once you achieve high self-esteem, you're there forever, like you've made it. That's not kind of how it works. It's pretty much in like ebb and flows, right? There's certain things that you're very confident at and other things that you're not. And that's normal and that's okay. Um, but well, let's start. Can anybody share a recent moment that they felt very low, that they had a moment of low self-confidence or low self-esteem? Anybody willing to share? Anything recent?
All right.
Tina,
Me
go
right
ahead.
now. I'm in the middle of a divorce. So yeah, that kind of yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. Thank you for sharing that, Tina. I can tell you personally, even though I'm giving this seminar here, this workshop, putting it together did make me a little bit uneasy. In the beginning, I had some self-talk in my head that I had to zip up, and we'll get to that as part of the self-confidence talk. But it is what it is. Some things that may, seem to me very difficult may seem for you very easy. And you think, well, if I'm super confident in speaking to a Zoom class, that's super easy. But for others, it may be difficult. So it's different for everyone. Now, the question is there a difference between self-esteem and self-confidence? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. Not huge difference, but there is a difference. So self-confidence is the belief in yourself and your abilities. It's your abilities or something specific that you have either little confidence in or plenty of confidence in, but it's an ability. Now, self-esteem, on the other hand, is how you appreciate and value yourself as a whole. So you can say that you're super confident in doing push-ups, Tina, right? You're super confident in doing push-ups, and but yet you don't think that you're this awful person. You're not down on yourself because maybe you messed up doing some push-ups, or you're not the best at sit-ups and you think, well, my life is awful because I can't get some sit-ups in, right? It's very specific. Self-confidence is typically something specific. Self-esteem is just as a whole. You're just down on yourself as a whole. And having self-confidence, low self-confidence in various things will definitely lead you to low self-esteem. But we don't want to get there. That's why we're doing this conference here, this workshop, because we got to get our confidence up so we don't fall into that trap of low self-esteem, because that's a doozy. So low confidence affects the result of a certain situation. It does not change you as a whole. And you can be confident in one thing and not the other. That's what I mentioned earlier. And self-esteem develops and changes based on your life experiences and affects life choices and relationships. It affects your overall perception of yourself, which again is heavy duty. And we want to try to avoid that by having high self-confidence. Characteristics of low confidence. You're a poor risk taker. You're afraid of failure, concerned about what others think, a poor decision maker, or you have decreased motivation, right? That all kind of makes sense. And for self-esteem, for low self-esteem, you're shy or not assertive. You're afraid of rejection. You lack confidence. You don't take compliments well because you kind of second guess them. Like, why are they saying that? You don't really trust them. You're a pessimist. So this is your self-esteem, your low self-esteem talking here. Now, how do we start to tackle these issues of low confidence and low self-esteem? There's not a magic pill. There's not a one-way ticket to like, oh, that's all you do and you become super confident. That's not exactly how it works, unfortunately. But we can start by taking inventory of our 5 basic human needs. Anybody knows what those are? No? Crickets? All right. So there is an American psychologist called Abraham Maslow, and he created this hierarchy of needs. And his theory is that if you hit up each of these levels in this triangle, in this pyramid, then you should feel very fulfilled in life. So just taking care of these things. And notice the bottom part of this triangle is the biggest and it's the most important. So you start from the bottom up. If you have air, water, shelter, clothing, and reproduction, yes, it means sex. It's one of our basic needs in life. You may not be feeling that right now, but it is one of the basic needs in life. And that is why that part at the bottom of that pyramid is one of the biggest. We need to have those things in order to live. Now, safety is next. Personal security, health, employment. Those are very important things that we need to have to feel fulfilled as well. Love and belonging. My goodness, if we're alone, if we have no intimacy, and doesn't mean sex, it means intimate friendships and connections, then we feel very alone. We don't feel fulfilled. It's a very important one. Esteem, and that talks about like self-esteem, feeling, recognition and respect for yourself. And then self-actualization. That one, although it's the very last one, it's still important because that's your chance to be, motivated, creative, and just be you. That's your chance to shine. So if you have all aspects of this triangle, you, in theory, should be living a very fulfilled life. So that's one way to attack this confidence issue. You can look through this chart and be like, where am I lacking here? Can I have more intimate friendships? Yeah, maybe. Could I, respect myself a little more and give myself, more like acceptance? Probably. So if there's things that you can work on here, you'll start to feel better. That's the premise of this hierarchy of needs. So that's number 1. If you have these, you should start to feel better. Confidence relies on your inner well-being as much as your outer. These items must be aligned in order to have a good self-confidence. So inner being your mindset, the way you speak to yourself, your health, and then outer being like body language and your environment. All right, real quick, just by looking at that emoji, what's that emoji's name? Anybody?
Karen.
Karen.
That is a Karen, absolutely. And thank goodness I don't see anyone here with the name Karen. But that is absolutely a Karen. How funny how we knew that immediately, right? I even showed my kids and he's like, "Ooh, that looks like a Karen." I'm like, absolutely, that's correct. So we all have Karens in our heads, right? So the minute that Karen starts yapping her mouth in your head, you need to tell her to shut it. Just like that. Shut up, Karen. And it's funny because you might hear them and be like, "Oh, okay." I run a women's program. One of the girls in this program, she used this the other day and she called me laughing. She's like, "You don't know how much I laughed when I did that." She goes, "But it worked." She was in the area in where I live, and she wanted to reach out to let me know that she was nearby to see if maybe we can go have coffee or meet up. Great. She should have called. What she was doing was in her head, Karen was telling her she's not going to want to talk to you. She's very busy. She doesn't want to do coffee with you. She has a lot of things going on. Stop bothering her. So she didn't call me. And then like 2 weeks passed by and she sent me a text and she's like, "Oh, I was in your area not too long ago and I was going to call you, but maybe I was going to be bothering you." And I said, "Well, why did you assume that? Why didn't you just try a text message, a phone call? I would have loved to meet up with you." I'm like, "What day was it?" And she told me, and I said, "I was absolutely available. You could have called me." And I said, "Next time that Karen starts talking to you, you tell her, 'Shut up, Karen,' and you make the phone call." So she's like, "Okay, I'm going to take you up on that." And a month later, she was back in town because she has family in my town. And immediately she thought the same thing. Karen was talking to her. And she said that she was in the car and she out loud said, "Shut up, Karen." And she started laughing. And that kind of like broke her train of thought. And she picked up the phone and she called me. And we got together and it was awesome. We had a great breakfast. But you really do need to take those steps to shut that voice off because she's going to go on and on and on. So when that Karen pops up and she starts telling you, "You can't do this. What are you doing? This is dumb." You need to tell her, first of all, to shut up. And then you can tell her, "I can do this. With some effort and practice, I'm going to get this. Or I may not have it figured out today, but eventually I will." Right? You flip that script. You make sure you turn it into something positive. Positive self talk is amazing. So don't let Karens mess with your head. Shut them up. Get them out. They have no place in your head. Then we go into the mind, right? So we speak nicely to ourselves, hopefully, and then we got to think nice thoughts. How many of us, well, let me read out what the imposter syndrome is. The persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved as a result of one's own efforts or skills. So what does that mean? That means that you didn't earn the position you got. You didn't create that. You didn't, whatever it is, your head starts messing with you. Your Karen starts messing with you and telling you, you didn't do this. You don't deserve that. How many people have felt that?
Sure.
Am I the only one? Oh, okay. Just making sure. Yeah. And I put here personal example, networking, writing my book. So this happened to me relatively recently. So I told you I wrote this book. And before I wrote the book, there's where the imposter syndrome came along. I thought, who is going to read my book? Why am I doing this? No one is going to care to hear my story. It's not going to help anyone. They don't even know it exists, right? All this was going in my head. As soon as I started talking to some friends and, got a little community going and they all were hyping me up, I took the plunge, I did it, and we put it on Amazon and it's doing great, luckily. So now I have to go network, right? To get this information out, to get my book out, to get my program out. And I show up to this networking event, which already I'm uncomfortable. I don't love to do public speaking, but I showed up at this networking event and everyone gets a 30-second elevator pitch. Now, I'm already standing up in front of a room of 65 people. That's already making me sweat. My hands are shaking. My heart is racing. I'm literally sweating. The sweat marks you can see from my shirt. I am not doing well at this moment. I am like about to collapse. And they're like, "Okay, ma'am, say your name, say why you're here, and give us your 30-second pitch." And it's just like, and I have all these things I want to say in my head. I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, I should have prepared. I didn't realize I had to do a 30-second pitch." And I had to somehow convey that I have this women's program, that I have this new book, that I'm a mom, that I'm a nurse, and all these things in 30 seconds. Was the first one great? No, it was not. I got somewhat of a point across. Luckily, some people stayed afterward to ask me, "So what exactly is it that you do?" Because it wasn't crystal clear. But the point is, I go every single week on Wednesday morning. That is my rep, as if I'm going to a gym. I practice, practice, practice every week. Wednesday morning, I am there at that networking area, and I am doing my 30-second pitch. Is it beautiful every time? No. Have I nailed it? Now being a few months into it? No. but I can tell you I've nailed the fact that now I'm no longer sweating. I'm no longer shaking. I don't stress about what I'm going to say. I just figure I'm going to wing it, and whatever comes out, comes out. And it's been great. It's practice, practice, practice. So now I don't even realize when it's my turn because I'm too busy doing other stuff with the other people. And they're like, Jessica, your turn. I'm like, oh, and I just stand up and talk, and it's all great. And no issues. Before, I was like counting down how many people before my turn and how much time, and oh my goodness, in about 10 minutes. And I mean, I was freaking out. So building confidence takes practice. It's like reps in a gym. You got to keep working at it. Whatever it is that you feel not confident at, that's what you have to tackle day in and day out. If you don't feel comfortable um, talking to a stranger or just saying good morning, say it every day for the next month. By that time, you'll be a pro. It won't even, it's going to slide right out. You're going to say it and just keep, I mean, it's not even going to affect you. It's like reps in a gym. That's all it is. Your mindset when you're dealing with all this should be, because what's the default? What's the worst that can happen, right? That's the default. Oh my goodness. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I trip when I stand up? What if I spit as I'm talking? What if I burp when I'm talking? Like, who knows, right? During my networking thing, I've had so many things go through my head. But what if we ask the question, what's the best that could happen? That kind of takes the edge off a little bit. So, what's the best that can happen? I can connect with other women. I can get women to join my program and potentially change their lives. I can make great friends, grow a community, make a good networking experience. Like all these great things can happen if I try. But I'm trying the same. If I think what's the worst that can happen and what's the best that can happen, I'm still doing the same effort. I'm just flipping it into something positive. Now, I mentioned that because this picture of this girl in this book here, this book was a game changer for me. It's called Hello Fears. And this is a girl, a young lady who had a project for school for in the university where she had to have list 100 fears. And she needed to work to fight these fears. So some of her fears were very simple for us, for me. One of them was like carrying a cat. Like, oh, big deal. No big deal. For her, it was a major deal, right? Like I said earlier, what might be easy for me is difficult for you and vice versa. Her fears did get progressively worse. And she, just a few of them, I can tell you, she had to go into an art room in a university completely naked so they can paint her. That's pretty nerve wracking. Just me even thinking about me doing something like that. I can't even imagine facing that fear. She had bungee jump, bungee jumping as one of them, and skydiving, carrying a tarantula for a certain amount of minutes on her arm, a whole bunch of different things, jumping off a cliff, all these crazy things. But the point is that she had her mindset like, okay, I'm here. What's the best that can happen? I can overcome this fear. I can maybe love tarantulas, which she did, by the way. She ended up liking them. I think she even got one as a pet. Crazy. So all these different things happened because she tried and she gave it a shot. She had a very positive outlook on everything. So I highly recommend her book, Hello Fears. If you can hear the audible, it's best. She has high energy. She's super witty, very funny. She is from Venezuela, so she has an accent. She sounds super adorable. I highly, highly recommend her. So Hello Fears, check her out. All right, next thing, body language. A weak and defeated body stance will wreak havoc on your mindset and your ability to perform tasks to your best ability. So if you're moping around all day and you're just like slouched and just kind of, yeah, there's no way you're going to be confident. No matter how, if you're super confident on your push-ups, like, to use that example, and yep, I can do 100 push-ups, but you're just like, yep, I can do 100 push-ups. Well, you're probably not going to do 100 push-ups like that, right? Not with that type of attitude and body language. So you need to stand up, smile. There's super like amounts of research that shows that if you smile, your brain releases serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins, which are neurotransmitters, the happy drugs that lower your anxiety and give you feelings of happiness. So another thing that you do if you have low body language or poor body language is that you send a very bad message, a negative message to people out there who are looking for weaklings. Okay, so you are sending a very weak message if you're just walking around like this. And so let's say safety. If you're out in the street and you're on your phone, perhaps, and you're just looking down and you're just slumped, and somebody who's out there who's looking to do some damage, steal your purse, or God forbid, kidnap or anything, do you think they're going to go for that person or the person standing up tall, walking into the room like they got this and looking around and just being vigilant and just has a different air about her? Chances are the one that's walking around like that is not going to be a target because it looks like they're going to be putting up a fight. Like they got their stuff together, right? Like they got their stuff together. No way. Bless you. There's no way that they're going to choose that person over the one that is just kind of, and like doesn't look like they're going to fight. So body language is a big one. You need to be confident for yourself, for your inner self, for your minds, for all these things, but also for the outside world. And so that people who see you think, well, let me not mess with her because she's aware, she's got her things together. So stand up tall, smile, make eye contact, uncross your arms. So don't be, like this all the time. It's hands down. If you want to talk with your hands or do something like this, that leaves a more positive mindset and image for the people around you. Self-care, gosh, like I said, as moms and as women, we tend to do this last for us, right? We're the last ones to take care of ourselves. But we are nurturers at heart. So we nurture everyone and we take care of everyone, but we are the last ones to pour back into ourselves. So self-care can be mental, can be physical, can be emotional. Ideally, you have the balance, like the mind-body connection balance. Self-care activities include regular exercise. We all know the importance of exercise and movement. And we can do a whole other workshop just on that. Getting adequate sleep. Oh, Tina, this is where you and I can talk, right? Tina.
Admit now.
Tina, how long were you sleeping before you started your medicine? What were your stretches of sleep?
I slept totally in the night, somewhere between 2 and 3 hours, and that was broken.
Yeah. So interrupted sleep and you had max 2 to 3 hours a night.
Yep.
So how was your mindset, your confidence, your everything at that point?
Horrible.
Yeah. Awful.
Doing your program changed everything about my life.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for that plug. I didn't pay her for that, I promise you. So Tina ended up doing some labs and found that she was deficient in testosterone. So
severely deficient, like almost zero.
yeah. Well, it was actually 0 point something, right?
Yeah.
Like it was literally zero.
Yeah.
And testosterone plays a big role in sleep deprivation, or if you have low testosterone, sleep deprivation. Oh gosh, a whole bunch of stuff. Mental fog, exhaustion, like fatigue. So
sweating.
Yeah.
The sweats were terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she now is on medication to increase her testosterone. And how much are you sleeping now?
Last night I did a little over 6 hours.
Woo! Awesome. Yeah. Very, very good. And that elevates your confidence.
And when I wake up, I can go right back to sleep. Like I'll wake up, have a sip of water and turn over and go right back to sleep.
Awesome. Awesome. And that definitely raises your confidence. Like, oh, there was a problem. I took care of it. I'm feeling amazing. Like, all right, what else can I tackle? Right.
Yeah.
So you can absolutely raise your confidence just by fixing those core basic needs that we said that we needed. Sleep was one of them. That was the one on the bottom part of that pyramid. So you can do that by eating healthy, being mindful and meditating, grounding. All these things will increase your self-care, which will then give you the confidence to walk out there feeling amazing and give back to everyone else. So that's a big one. And then we have social support. So building a community, building a network. I can't encourage you enough. You need to find a community of women, of whoever, to have your back. There is nothing like walking into a room or picking up the phone if you are just down, you're having low moments, because we all have them, and you can make a phone call, make a text to a WhatsApp group and just say, oh man, today's is a hard day for me. And then watch all these people come in and say, what's going on? Call me. Let's meet for coffee. Try this. Have you tried that? And it's all these people that are coming together for your well-being. So I can't stress that enough. Super important to build these social support networks. And they will build your confidence. If they'll tell you, Tina, I've been in this situation. I took testosterone and I have been sleeping like a baby. I promise you, you are going to feel amazing after you do this. Do it. And then she does it and it works and it feels great. Great. A notch up on the self-confidence belt, right? And just like that, you can start working your way up. Avoid toxic relationships. Those relationships, they could be family. It doesn't have to be people outside of your, of your circle. It can be people right in your house. You need to avoid contact with people who just drain you, because they will drain you. They will drain your self-confidence. You need to step away from those people as much as possible. And I just said joining a community that aligns with your interests and your values, that is key. And we're getting close to the end here, but success breeds success. Before you read the homework, which is actually right on top, but I want to tell you about this Navy admiral that's down there. I believe his name is Admiral William Raven, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
So
it is.
see, my memory's still working. He said that he gave a speech, and he said that making your bed can change the world. And he definitely had to go into that. It's a nice, amazing speech. I totally recommend you listening to it. It's probably about 20 minutes long or so. So I wasn't going to post it here. But one of the things he said is, if you can't do the little things right, like making your bed, and you'll never do the big things right. If by any chance you have a miserable day, you'll come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. I think it's such a nice quote, right? Like, okay, today sucked, but let's go to bed. Let's wake up, and tomorrow is a new day. We can do this. You start off by having your first success of the day, which is making the bed. That is the first success, and success breeds success. So the minute you have that first notch in your self-esteem, in your self-confidence, and you're like, okay, I did that right. Let me see what else I can do right. You go, you make breakfast, and it turns out great. Your coffee came out exactly the way you wanted it. Check. Another success. And then throughout the day, you start building these things. So I have homework for you guys. I want you to try this out. Set 3 attainable goals, very easy goals. They don't have to be like, I want to lose 10 pounds. No, this is for the very near future. This is for tomorrow. I want you to set 3 goals for tomorrow. And I want you to, it could be about anything. It could be talking to a stranger, it can be exercising, whatever it is that you want to create for yourself. 3 easy goals. And I want you to hit these up. And I would love to hear back from you if you were able to accomplish these goals. So you have my email. And I can post my website there too later, and you can message me. I would love to hear it. But you need to be able to hit these 3 goals to move on with your day. You're going to feel a sense of accomplishment, a sense of empowerment. Even if you're saying, okay, today, one of my goals is going to be just to say hi to my next door neighbor who I haven't spoken to in 10 years. Okay, as soon as you go outside in the morning and they're putting their stuff in the car and, oh, good morning, Karen. My favorite name. Good morning, Karen. Whether they answer or not, it doesn't matter. You completed your goal. That's check. You made it. Success for you. And like, just like that, making your bed, or, going to work and, being the first one at work, being on time at work, whatever it is. If you set attainable goals throughout the day and you go hitting them, you will absolutely increase your self-confidence and your self-esteem. And then be authentic. Just be you. You don't have to be a people pleaser. You don't have to be the best at everything. The only thing you will lose by being real is something that's fake. So take the chance, be real, be you. I am the first one to tell you, I don't love speaking in public. It's not my jam. I do it because I want to get my point across. I think there's so much value in things that I've been learning. I read a lot. I'm constantly researching stuff. I love connecting with people. I meet all kinds of people and authors, and I want to get that message out. So I do it. Do I love to stand here and talk to everybody? I don't love it. Like I said, it's not my jam, but I do love that I get replies back saying, this was amazing. You empowered me, just hearing your story, all these different things. Recently, my husband and I went to a entrepreneurs conference. There was over 200 people there, and it was a conference in Spanish. Now, I'm Cuban, so no problem. I speak Spanish, no brainer. But I speak very conversational Spanish. I don't have these business conversations in Spanish. So I was very nervous. There we go with the sweating and with the palpitations and all this. And now there's 200 Latino entrepreneurs ready to hear some business speak in Spanish, and I am starting to panic. Luckily, my husband was on stage with me, and he told me, "Why are you stressing this? So tell them that you're not this like Spanish, entrepreneur thing. You speak Spanish, but you think in English, and just be honest." And sure enough, I was on stage, and there was many words that I messed up, and I said, I would look over to my husband and I would say, "Did I just make that word up? Is that a word?" And he would be like, yep, you just made that up. I'm like, okay, you understood me, right? Yes, yeah. Okay, great. Anyway, and I kept on going. I didn't pretend that I am this guru entrepreneur in Spanish, I'm me. I told them I think in English, I talk in English, although I do have an accent. I talk in English, I think in English. Everything I watch and read is in English. So it takes me a little bit to translate things. So if I make something up, forgive me. And if I say something wrong, forgive me. And they were all laughing, accepting, no problem. So just be authentic. And that gave me confidence to calm down. They laughed. I feel good. They know the truth. I'm not being fake. So let's move on. So just be authentically you. And then just to wrap things up, to build self confidence, you need to make sure you have your 5 human needs met. And we went over those. Those are the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Speak kindly to yourself. Tell Karen to shut her mouth. Have a positive mindset. Watch your body language. So no slumping or slouching. Walk with your head high. Smile because it gives you those happy juices. So you smile, you exercise, you meditate, eat healthy, get quality sleep. Surround yourself with motivating, supportive people. Take action. Complete simple tasks, simple goals. Just complete them. Be consistent, and that'll get you to jump up in your self confidence rank. And then be authentic. Remember, this is a journey. This is an up and down journey. You don't reach self confidence like, okay, I made self confidence. That's it. You're there forever. This is an ever changing journey. There's days that you're going to feel it real good, and then there's days that you're not. And that's okay. But these are good ways that when you're not feeling it, you can snap yourself out of it and be like, wait, let me go ground outside. Let me go take a deep breath. Let me stand up straight. Let me smile. Fake it till you make it, right? Because I forgot to mention the brain is pretty amazing. In the mindset slide, I should have put it. The brain can't tell the difference. If what you are imagining in your mind, if you close your eyes and you imagine something, the brain can't tell the difference if it's actually happening or if you're making it up. So it assumes that this is happening. This is real. So if you close your eyes and you see yourself just killing it, like I'm going to do this speech and I'm going to do amazing and they're going to love me and I'm going to go through the motions. Nothing's going to go wrong. All these things are going to go right. Your brain's like, oh yeah, okay, let's do it. The brain doesn't know that you haven't done this yet. So visualizing positive outcomes, visualizing and hearing yourself speak positive things to yourself works wonders. So whenever you're feeling that slump, think of these tips and it'll definitely raise you up in your self-confidence. And then this was what Tina was referring to, and I was going to plug it in here at the end. Like I said, I run a women's program. It's a 31-day challenge program, and that's my book. It's my turn. And we get together, basically about 24, 25 women. We get together via WhatsApp. Everything is virtual. And we do things like this. Like we dig deep. We talk about issues. We talk about solutions. If you're struggling with anything, we all get together and brainstorm and kind of figure out, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Oh, I know someone who's done this. Or we help each other. We build this community together. We go through 31 challenges together, and it ranges from working on relationships, on finances, on your inner self. There's many different aspects of the book. And at the end of every chapter, so it's one day at a time. So day one, it's a very short reading, 3 to 5 minutes worth of reading a day. And day one, when it's done, you'll have 2 challenges. You'll have a physical challenge to get that body moving. And then you'll also have a mental challenge, a break free from your comfort zone challenge to kind of push you to really elevate yourself and just make it to the next level. And you have accountability partners. I pair you up with partners to make sure you reach your goals. And we go through this challenge together, 31 days via WhatsApp. And then once a week in those 31 days, we do a Zoom call and we connect and we say, okay, Tina or Simone or Joni, tell me what your hardest challenge was this week. And you would say, well, day 7 was very difficult for me. Okay, why was it difficult? And we'll dive in and we'll see, okay, well, that makes perfect sense. Or, hey, you didn't consider this. Or we just really work together to solve problems and get things going. I would love to have you all join me. I see some familiar faces and I love that. So thank you for coming on. The barcode is there, the QR code, sorry. And if you use the code confidence, you will get a free book for July or August class, either one of those 2 classes. We still have plenty of room in July, which starts July 10th, and August is wide open. So if you have friends, if you are interested, you can reach out to me at 31dailychallenges.com. There's my email there is coach@31dailychallenges. I also emailed all of you with the link to this program. So you have both emails. It's jessicamgandara@gmail. So I'm here for you for anything you need. I was so excited to get this workshop together. I hope you found some value in it. And I plan to do other types of workshops like for finances. I might hook onto my husband for that one. He's my finance guy. So we'll do finances, we'll do relationships. There's a lot of different topics we want to tackle. But what I did here today is a brief overview of what we do in our program. We have the community, we go on Zoom, we discuss issues, we come up with a plan, and then we execute. So thank you for your time. I hope I get to see you guys on the next one. And I would love your feedback, being this is my first workshop. And I also have a free Facebook page. It's called Self Improvement with Jessica Gandara. And you can hop on there, and I have some more material there. So thanks again for coming on, and I'm at your service. Anything you need, I'm here. Let me
She
check the
means
chat
that.
before I just realized there was comments there. Any questions or anything? Breaking the pattern. Karen can be vicious. Yes, she is vicious for sure. But you got this. Ooh, Mercedes, I like that. Live life as if everything is rigged in your favor. Heck yeah, I love that. Oh, you guys are sweet. Joni, I can't wait till you start the program. I'm so looking forward to it. Thank you, ladies. Have a great night. Oh, Vidalia. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you guys soon on the next one.